solution 1, you could just keep all the decimals if you feel comfortable dealing with decimals. So first, combine like terms, because there's an x here, there's negative 0.25x there. You want to move them to the same side so you can combine them. So let's add 0.25x, add 0.25x. Because we have a subtraction here, you got to do the opposite. So that cancels out. On the right hand side, I just bring down the 4.8. But on the left hand side, be very careful when you add. I do notice some students make mistakes here. So you are trying to add 1 and the 0.25. Okay, 1 is like 1.00 and 0.25. So we talked about how to add decimals. You got to line up the decimal point for addition and subtraction. So you will get 1.25. Okay. All right. So be careful about that. After you get here, you just need to get rid of that 1.25. Divide both sides by 1.25. And now to do division of decimals, we move the decimal point 1, 2 times. 1, add a 0, so you can move it 2 times. So it's literally doing 480 divided by 125. That gives us 4. Is that right? Let me check. 480 divided by 125. Oh, actually, no, sorry, 3. So 3 times 5, 15, 2 times 3. So that gives us 5 here and 0 here and 1. So we're going to add another decimal point. Well, actually, I might, well, I guess this is fine. This way will give us a decimal answer. You could also leave the answer as a fraction. So I would maybe show you a different way in a second. So I'm going to 8. We keep doing this, and I think it's 8, 3. Yeah, I think the decimal point is a little too long, so I might actually just keep it answer as a fraction. So let me try to. You can continue to do this to finish. I'm kind of out of space here, and what I'm gonna do the other way. The answer is you can leave the answer as a fraction. So I'm gonna divide both top and bottom by 5 because 5 goes into 0. If the 5 goes into any number that ends in 0 or 5. So that gives me 25 here. 96, and that will be the answer because the only number that can go in 25 is 5, but 5 doesn't go to 96, so that means this is already simplified. So if you just leave the answer as a fraction, it will be much easier than to divide. So because this looks like it still takes 2 more steps to get the decimal. Okay. All right, so that's one solution. The other solution is new. This is really the old way, nothing new here. Well, it's exactly the same as what we did before, combining like terms and get the x by itself. The other way, the new way is, if you don't like dealing with decimals, you can choose to get rid of them by multiplying a 10 or 100. Because we talked about I gave you that quick tip of multiplying numbers by 100 or 10. So if you multiply 4.8 by 10 times by 10, you're moving the decimal point to the right 1 time. You will get 48. If you multiply 4.8 by 100, you move the decimal point to the right 2 times. That gives you 480. Okay, so I can multiply each term by 100. I choose 100 because 0.25 has 2 decimal places. If I multiply 0.25 by 10, I can only move it to the right 1 time. That gives me 2.5, which still contains a decimal. So that's why I chose to multiply 100, because 100 has 2 zeros. That will move the decimal point to the right 2 times. That gives you 25. And the reason I want to do that is, look, after we multiply every term by 100, look what happens. No decimals anymore. So all you have to do is to deal with whole numbers. Add 25x, That gives you 125x equals 480. And then you divide both sides by 125. And you can still reduce it to 96 over 25. Okay, so this way, for decimals, I really don't care which way you do. For fractions, I did last 2 weeks ago, I did say, you know, it's good to, it's easier to, if I highly recommend that you get rid of fractions by multiplying the LCD. For decimals, it's up to you. I don't really think this solution tool will make things much easier because decimals are really not too bad to, you know, add or divide. Typically, they're very close to whole numbers. Okay, so let's look at